Hey y'all. Hey Sunnies. Welcome to Beaming Light. I'm Danita. This is my channel. Beaming stands for bold, enlightened, aware, mature, insightful, nurturing, grateful. Light stands for loving, intelligent, generous, honest, and tactful. This is my channel where I talk about my personal experiences, relate them to song lyrics, and the song lyrics to Bible verses. Yes. It is early. Like, I recorded a little earlier, but the sound wasn't great, so I'm recording again. And if you're in the South, it is like raining crazy, something serious outside. So I couldn't really sleep. Been up for a couple hours. So I was like, let me record because I had this song stuck in my head. I'm not saying this to shake you up. I'm just saying this to wake you up. It's all good when we making love. All I ask is don't take my love for granted. Cause granted, my love for you is real. And if you don't love me, somebody else will. Baby boy, don't you ever get too comfortable. Comfortable. Yeah, to the left. If you want to leave, be my guest, you can step. Feeling irreplaceable, listening to Beyonce. Well, okay, I'll put you out on your B-day. Hey, now you mocking with Weezy. Bedroom in the bank, baby, we safe. I got game like EA. But I want to let you play. And I don't treat you like souffle. Don't I look like I see a new day? I'm sorry, I missed the flow. That's why Wayne's voice wasn't good. Comfortable. So the message is a song by Lil Wayne featuring Babyface-Comfortable, right? So the message of this video is, how comfortable are you all with God? How comfortable are you with God? And we're looking at Romans chapter 10, 3 and 9 through 10. How comfortable are you with God? I'm not saying this to shake you up. You gotta be mad comfortable with God. Like, God, like, I don't think people realize you are already comfortable with God. You just don't know it yet. You don't have a choice. Because, like, he's always watching. He's always around. Like, he's everywhere. So you don't realize that you are already really comfortable with God. I mean, think about it. You poop in front of him. You fart. You cuss. You probably drink. No telling what else goes on. I ain't here to judge. I'm just saying. You can't hide that from him. So you're already really comfortable with him. You know, it's one thing being comfortable with God, but it's another thing being comfortable with people. Have you ever been in a situation, a personal experience time, where you just don't feel comfortable being around certain people? Like, you just feel like, I don't know, the energy is off, the vibe is wrong. You just not feeling it, but like other people don't notice it, like, because they're so used to that, right? That's how I would feel like when I would go to certain people's houses when I lived in California. So, side note, I lived in California for a period of 10 years, moved to Georgia, and then moved home, and then went back to California for a couple of years. That's when I was with my ex. And so, like, in those 10 years, it's like I got really comfortable being around those people, right? It was familiar. And then when I left, went to Georgia, and then when I went back out there, I was like, this is not what I remember, or this is not even say it has to be the same, because people change, things change, and life circumstances change. But it was just like, I ain't feel comfortable. Like, I ain't feeling the vibe. The energy's off. Like, But my ex was so, like, used to that environment. It was like he would be, I swear to you, one time we was at somebody's house, and I could feel the tension between two people in the house, right? You cut this tension with a steak knife. I mean, the tension was thick. And he was just there, like really happy. And I'm like, it's time to go. These people don't want to be bothered. But he just, And it takes for you to get out of the situation for you to see it from all sides, right? Because what is the old saying? You can't see the parade when you in it. That's one thing I got from past nouns is good, I guess what, phrases, metaphors. But yeah, it's like when you're in that, you don't see anything wrong with it because it's normal to you. But it's like if somebody from the outside comes into it and they try to tell you like this is not normal, then it's like you looking at that person crazy because it's like, no, this is normal. Like this, they're fine. And then it's like, no, they're not though. Like you can feel the tension. That's living that delusion. That's what I say. Some people be comfortable with them delusions. I'm not saying this to shake you up. Just saying it's to wake you up. I don't care. I kick you out on your B-Day. Savage shit. Lil Wayne, just savage. How comfortable are you with God? So in that situation, right? God is love. I did not feel love in that environment. I felt like a lot of fake love, care, and concern. And people could be like, oh, no, it wasn't that. But it's like, I can't. You can say that to me, and that's fine. That might not be your interpretation of the situation, but that's my interpretation of the situation. I'm allowed to say how I feel and what I've experienced because that's just how I interpret it. And if you don't like it, I mean, that's just on you. Sometimes I say things, I'm like, damn, cold-hearted, cold-blooded. But it's not me being cold-blooded. It's more about me being honest with myself, right? Because I think cold-blooded is just like somebody who just doesn't have any disregard to anybody's feelings. But me being honest with myself is not meant to hurt you. But if it does in the process, then I'm sorry. But I still have to be honest with myself. I can't live a lie to make you happy. Ooh, shit. I cannot live a lie to make you happy. Oh. See, that was the reason I need to record again. I can't do that. I can't sit here and pretend like everything's all good when it's not. I can't live a lie to make you happy. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. Whew. Dang. I dropped jewels. Busted. Okay. Romans chapter 10 verse 3 says, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. So basically, when you feel like you don't need God's righteousness or you're unaware, because ignorance, okay, people take the term ignorant and they think it's like demeaning or it's rude, but ignorant is just saying that you are unaware of certain things in life or how certain things go or aspects or whatever. Like you're unaware, you've never been educated in that area. It's one thing to be ignorant and to be unaware and uneducated in the area versus, or not educated in that area versus to have the education in that area and still not understand it. And that's something different, right? But ignorant is like you are not aware. You don't know. Like, is everybody aware about how open heart surgery is performed? No, we're not. We're ignorant to that, and that's okay. Like, I'm still learning things about the LGBTQIA community because I am not aware. I'm ignorant to some of those things. So it's like, it's a learning experience, and you got to give some grace because when people are open about being ignorant to an area, I think that's when you should educate them. Here's the thing though with that, because I had someone tell me like I have to retrain you all over again. No, you don't need to train me. I'm grown. You need to train your son. Like, that's something about that. But he was ignorant to the fact of like how to appropriately talk to women. Ignorant to it. But it's like, sometimes when people get older, you can't tell them nothing because they just think they know everything. And it's like, but you don't, because nobody knows everything. You know everything. Tell me how open heart surgery is done. Tell me what you do. Where do you start the scalpel? Where do you make the incision? Like, it's like people have this complex, this superiority complex, like they're better than everybody, they know everything. And I find that and I'm not disrespecting anybody that's older, but it's like, it's something to be said about an older person who is willing to open up and learn about new information versus an older person who is stuck in their ways. So for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. So when you go out here and you're ignorant to the fact that God can do things and he controls your life and he sees everything, and you go out here and you try to make it in your control and how you want to look and try to manipulate and lie to get desired outcomes, like you're ignorant to the fact of God's righteousness, his goodness, his mercy, his grace. Like you're ignorant to what he has in store for you because you're trying to manipulate and control things in your benefit, where it's like God says it's not about you, it's about me, baby. This human experience, God want me to tell y'all, this human experience is not about you, it is about me. It's about you coming to me. It's about you seeking me. It's about you trusting me. So that way I can help you throughout this human experience and guide you on the way so that you continue to maintain joy, peace, and happiness so you can enjoy the experience. Yes, hello. I cannot live a lie to make you happy. I want God's righteousness. It's 3:57 a.m., y'all. Working through me. All right. Verse 9, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord and shalt believe in thy heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. This verse to me does not mean like you dead, God raised you up. Okay, like not literal, figuratively, right? Wake you up. I'm not saying this to shake you up. I'm just saying this to wake you up. God wants you to wake up. He wants to raise you. He wants you to get out of the state of living unconsciously and live consciously. Aware, understanding, open to information, open to interpret new ideas, or are open to new things, new ideas. I'm open to new things and new ideas. I just don't like technology, y'all. I don't. I feel like technology overcomplicates things. Now, I love it for the medical field, right? The medical advances that it has made, because it has saved a lot of lives. But like these crazy gadgets, like for like weird stuff, it's kind of like, how lazy are we going to allow ourselves to be? Somebody not going to like that. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. With the heart man believed unto righteousness. So when your heart, God leads you with your heart. Okay, remember I told you guys that God puts all your deepest desires in your heart. He knows what you want. He sees it. He knows it. He puts it there. He hid heaven in your heart. Heaven is in your heart. So what that means is what makes you happy eternally. Like what really truly brings you joy and peace is your heaven. My friend, her mom passed away not too long ago, maybe probably about a month ago. And she asked me a very powerful question. She was like, what do you think happens when you die? And I was like, I think that energy just goes into you. And I was like, for instance, like when my mom passed away, I feel like I took on a lot of her spirit. And I was like, and you might not see it now because you're grieving, but you're going to start seeing yourself more, like your mom more through you, like her ways and things through you, right? But it's just about taking her energy and transforming it and neutralizing it to be better in what our society looks like now, to make changes, to make progressive changes, to move forward, to break generational curses. And she was like, wow, that's powerful. And I was like, yeah, I think that's what happens, right? That's my opinion. And then she asked me, well, when you get to heaven, what do you think people look like? And I said, I think because heaven is like that highest state of nirvana, you look, when you're there, your spirit looks like how you would be like at this with your appearance, like at your most comfortable state, like where you felt the best, like your highest level of like feeling confident and secure in yourself. I think that's what you will look like in heaven. She was like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes, like it's hard to have conversations with some people because some people don't want to like dive on a deep end. Like my ex, he was like, oh, like I love to have deep conversations, and then like not talk about nothing. What? Like, I would try to bring up topics, or the stuff he would talk about would be like, so the planets, or like, I don't know. It would just be like something where I felt like it was like grasping at straws versus having a really prophetic conversation. So again, God hides heaven in your heart. I got a little off topic, but God hides heaven in your heart. Like, he knows your deepest desires. He knows your deepest needs, your wants. Like, he knows that in your heart, right? So this is why when you submit to his will, his righteousness, you move with intuition. So you follow your gut, right? And then like, you just keep moving, and you're good moving with your intuition, because you know God is guiding you, because he hid heaven in your heart, so he's going to lead you to your heart's desires. And then he'll drop a jewel on you to say like, and mentally like, okay, yes, you're doing the right thing, like keep going. And then like, once you get that jewel mentally, like, then your soul is at peace. And I feel that that's how God guides you. Like, he guides you to your heart's desires by you just trusting him and moving in intuition. And then he drops a jewel mentally on you. And then when your soul is at peace, then, like, that's God. But when you start feeling uneasy, unsettled, uncomfortable, that ain't God. That ain't God. Okay. God will put you through testing. So remember, the devil tempts you, right? And as the devil is tempting you, God is testing you. So there are going to be seasons where you're uncomfortable, but then that's when you know that the devil is tempting you. Like, I'm uncomfortable, like something's off. Or it's a test, or it's like, it's a lesson that needs to be learned there. But he's going to allow you to be uncomfortable until like you learn the lesson. If you don't ever learn a lesson, then you're going to be uncomfortable for a while. Can be uncomfortable for a long time. So it's like important to understand and learn the wisdom. The lessons. That's why it's important to pray and ask God for wisdom and discernment, so you know how to move accordingly. God is very complicated, y'all. He complicated. He a complicated being. He's illogical in his ways. Like, it don't make sense to us, but to him it makes sense. And then when you look back and reflect on the bigger picture of life, it makes sense. But right now, it just doesn't. Believe with your heart that God is good to you, and he's going to grant you what you want. But you have to be prepared to receive it. And then sometimes too, God will like grant you what you want, well, what you think you want, right? Well, like, it looks like what you've been asking for, but then it don't really be that. It's something different. Yep, something different. That's what happened to me. It was like, I thought that was what it was, but then I was like, this is something different, right? Because I got out of that space, that time, or got away from those nouns, and then came back, and I was like, I am not comfortable with this. But I am comfortable here. I am comfortable with God. I'm trusting the process. I said it's hard, but you got to do it. All right, Sunny Vibes. I'm not going to go like so energy right now. It's like 4:04 a.m. And I'm hoping that when the time is appropriate, you guys see this message. What y'all about to do? Go to sleep, or I'm going to try to get some rest. You guys have a good night, a restful early morning, and I'll talk to you another time. Love you, Sunnies. Stay humble.